Happy Saturday or happy Sunday, depending on when you're going to watch this. How are you? Had a very busy week this week. We just bought a new house and it's getting totally remodeled, and I'm a little out of sorts. So, any of you that contact me, I apologize because it was just a really tough week. Okay, I was at Costco today. I love Costco. I've been a member forever. And made me start thinking about how Costco sells things and apply it towards produce. You ever notice in Costco, say you go, they have something, it's new, and oh, I'm going to get that next week. And you go back next week and it's not there. Like they sell it, and I guess if they didn't sell it fast enough, or they sell, it's a seasonal thing, they just sell it once. It's really the same thing with their produce. They constantly move their stuff around. That there may be a potato or an onion or something like that, but they're constantly moving stuff. And I love, that's the way I used to sell produce. In fact, I once had a store called Cheap Charlie's. It was a fruit store, but maybe I had 20, 25 items in there on any given day, not more. I did not carry everything. And I sold out almost everything every day, truckloads of produce every day. It was always value priced. It was always great items. It was excuse me. It was items I'm going to sell that were always in demand, and it would be different. It could be the same. It could be 10 items the same the next day, but chances are, half the items were going to be switched out the next day. And there were some staples like string beans or stuff like that, but again, so it's to me that's a great way to sell produce. I noticed that a lot of before COVID-19, because a lot of big chains decreased their amount of SKUs, but selling 35 different kinds of tomatoes, believe me, that's why your shrink's so high. Giving the consumer those kind of choices only confuses them, and it adds to your shrink. And I'm a big proponent of that. So you could agree, you could disagree. That's your prerogative. But okay. Also, there's some beautiful produce pictures. This is all connected. Of Mario De Palma. Mario De Palma is a produce wizard. He works at Catchman as a merchandiser, sets up stores. I worked with him when we set up the booth at the New York Produce Show. So he has some awesome pictures, and you should definitely check them out. He's a master, and it kind of made me again think about when I had stores, and even when I worked in fruit stores in the beginning of my career, and then had my own stores. How many of you, and I'm talking to the larger retailers now because I know your independents do this all the time. You could probably teach me more than I could teach you. But how many of you actually move stuff around? Now, see, I know, and you had tables, sections of your store. You knew any item that you put there was going to sell. I used to change my stores around daily. I used to come in or tell the night guys, make these moves during the night, or I made different moves during the day depending on if I had to move something. And my store was all my stores constantly changed. Never ever had the same look. Some of them were neighborhood stores, so I had people that would walk to our stores, and they had a complete, if they didn't come every day, they came every other day. And my store looked totally different every other day, and it was just like a new experience. And it forces the people to walk through your store to find an item. You want to, if you sell a lot of potatoes and onions, and people always find your potatoes and onions, put them in the back of the store. Let them see the whole store before they get to the potatoes and onions. If you don't sell an item, you put it in the front of the store. You get impulse. Anyway, this is Produce 101. The only reason why I mention it is because when I go into large retail stores, I see the same stuff every day. The same stuff in the same spot every day. You're not selling produce the right way, And I got to tell you, there are a lot of men like Mario De Palma in this world that really, really know a lot about produce. And they should be telling you, their superiors, what to do. You shouldn't be telling them what to do, because that's the problem. You know what Steve Jobs always said? Steve Jobs says, we hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. We don't hire smart people for us to tell them what to do. So that's what I have to say today. Okay, let's see. We're going to talk about trucks. I guess my mind was thinking a lot this week. Trucks in the produce industry, in the spot market, is just like anything. All our items in the spot markets in cycles. Prices are supply and demand. And if you notice, for the last 5 or 6 weeks, trucks have been very expensive. If you also notice, before that, they were cheap for an extended period of time. Let's go back 2 or 3 years before that. They were very, very cheap. Then e-logs took hold, and the market basically doubled for a year. And here's my thinking. I may be right, maybe wrong, but I think it's a sound thought. Trucks are cheap. After a while, guys go out of business because you're running $5,000 trucks, and maybe you're between hiring drivers, wear and tear, fuel, and everything. You just can't make ends meet, right? Then e-logs came into effect and took out a lot of trucks that couldn't meet the requirements, right? So the truck rates went up. They went from 5,000 to 10,000. From west to east. So what happens? At $10,000, trucking company owners can pay the repairs, pay the fuel, pay the drivers, and have money left to investment. What do trucking companies do? They buy more trucks. Okay, so then we have them, with these higher rates, adding trucks to get to a point, like anything else, supply and demand equals off, and then rates level off or drop. And I think that's what we went through the last maybe 6 months ago or 5 months ago. Rates were pretty cheap again, and I think now we're on that up cycle again, because those people that lost trucks, and now they made their investments, and so who knows what we're doing. But if you notice, it's been a roller coaster. So I just think that that there's got to be rates that makes everybody happy. Listen, I'll be I'm guilty. I want to buy reasonable trucks whenever I can. But more importantly, I want trucks that make delivery. I tell my truck drivers, I don't make money on bad deliveries. I only make money on good ones. So I want them there when I want them. And sometimes you pay a little extra for that, and to me, that's worth it. So that's my truck report today. Let's talk about my other favorite item, red peppers. I have to tell you, this is my favorite time of year, because this time of year is when the red peppers are at their best. They're big, they're beautiful, they are like iron. So unfortunately, in the New York area, Jewish holidays coupled with sometime during this month, Canadian red peppers, they started, but I have to really, this week I'm going to get a little more updates. They started with a lot of 25-pound choice. To me, in my mind, says when they're starting with choice, that's not a good sign. That means they might have a little bit of problem, or maybe they're just calling the fields, and we're going to come into their number ones. But usually, Canadian reds on the East Coast, because there is really very little freight involved compared to out west. That coupled with the Jewish holidays, if anybody knows anything about New York or the Northeast, it's Jewish holidays, but the Spanish restaurants are slow, and the Korean restaurants are slow, and it's just the way it is. And believe me, we've been trying to figure it out for 40 years, and I still haven't. So we're going to have reds. Reds were basically $16.95 last week. I don't really think that price is going to hold. It doesn't feel right to me, again, for maybe all the things I said, and also a little more increase in volume. The good news, though, is we're out of the week of the twos. We're coming into the first of the month. Hopefully demand will pick up. Hopefully the country's picking up, opening up little by little, which my crystal ball is definitely clogged, a little foggy, I should say, because this year with COVID-19, you can't really predict I can't predict the ban like I usually can, because there's just a lot of other factors. Riots don't help either, because a lot of these big cities, uh, you know, there's riots. Believe me, people aren't going shopping. So, that's all I have to say today. Oh, you know what else I have to say? Going back to displays, my friend Scott, he's a merchandiser. He works for a big produce company. He always finds great ways to turn useless space, whether it's food bars or something like that, or using different racks that are not being used now because of COVID-19. He bags up fruit, and he really knows how to merchandise. There's a lot of great ideas out there. Again, let your produce people, big bosses, all you guys in the suits, that went to Harvard, listen to these produce guys. I'm sorry, I got accepted to medical school and I never finished college, if you can believe that. It's another story, but so I am one of those Harvard graduates, but there are a lot of talented people out there that really could teach you about produce. You should start listening to them. And that's all I have to say for this week. So, I love you, love the produce business. Take a look at those pictures. If you want to get in touch with me, call, phone, email, ET, phone home. I'm ready, willing, and able to help anyone I can in the produce business. Love you, love the produce business. See you next week. Okay? Okay.